Hey everyone, welcome to NNT. My name is Mark Kedgley, and today I'm going to give you a brief overview of NNT SecureOps. I'm going to be showing you why it's genuinely different and a significantly more effective way of delivering secure IT services. We're going to start with a brief positioning slide, and the message here is that there's still no such thing as 100% secure.
Nobody can offer a guarantee to stop every cyber attack. Attacks will always keep coming, and some will get breached. Even the world's largest and best resourced organisations. So what's going wrong? Investments in IT security are still increasing year on year, but despite this, annual incidences of data breaches are growing even faster. Nearly 8 billion data records were exposed between January and September 2019, a 33% increase from the same period in 2018. WannaCry in 2017 hit over 230,000 victims in 150 countries within a matter of days. It showed that we're still all at risk of similar perfect storms, with a common vulnerability uncovered and exploited quickly before natural patching cycles can provide protection. Even so, despite WannaCry, 3 years later and ransomware attacks are still hitting the headlines, with Travelex shut down completely. The rules for cybersecurity professionals have remained the same throughout all this time. Operate all security best practices and don't cut corners on either vulnerability management or change control. These controls are especially critical to both maintaining security defences and to isolating breach activity if and when it does happen. NNT's SecureOps provides a coherent strategy for cybersecurity, and it's unique in its use of automation, intelligence and integration with ITSM processes. So is there any hope? Well, 100%. We already know how to prevent cyber attacks and everything else we should be doing to keep safe. We also know what to do if we do get breached, how to recover and how to investigate and so on. And this is confirmed in the quote here from Curtis Dukes of the Centre for Internet Security. Operating all controls from Implementation Group 1 of the CI's controls will provide an effective defence against the top 5 attacks detailed in the Verizon Data Breach Report. Similarly, the equivalent controls are echoed in NIST 853. Take your pick of either framework, but make sure you're covered. We always take a very consultative approach to working with our clients, and at this stage of an overview and introduction session like this, we would usually make it a little more interactive. We're always interested in what are perceived as the greatest risks, and we like to find out how aligned a client is to these key controls and how well the organisation operates these controls. Where are the gaps? We would also usually talk about the service desk or ITSM system you use, and to ask for an idea of the level of maturity in terms of operating a change management process. We also like to understand which vendors and products a client is already using with respect to vulnerability scanning, SIEM or log analysis, and change control, if any. This understanding helps to frame what we deliver, which NNT call SecureOps. SecureOps combines these essential foundational security controls with the operational discipline of change management. Ensuring you have the right security controls in place, with the ability to detect all changes within your environment, is key. You then need to be able to correlate these changes with a planned change request and change manifest. Being in control of change to this degree means that organisations can protect themselves against all forms of breach, as well as validating all changes for both security and operational peace of mind. We currently help around 500 customers, primarily in the global enterprise sector of the market, and here's just a few to show the breadth of coverage across all regions of the world and all industry sectors. So a bit more on SecureOps. It's short for Secure Operations. It's based on the foundational security controls as prescribed by all leading security frameworks, such as the CIS and NIST, combined with the operational discipline of change management and the innovation of change control, pioneered by NNT. The SecureOps solution set includes asset discovery and inventory, secure system configuration for all assets, regular vulnerability scanning, change monitoring and control, whitelist approved file integrity monitoring, integration with operational change management processes and systems, and SIEM or log management. The NNT contention is that by ensuring the basic and essential security controls are in place, combined with the ability to validate the safety of all changes, organisations can prevent and protect against cyber attack while improving IT service delivery quality. It's a genuinely new and effective way of automating security controls, and I'm going to provide a quick overview of what SecureOps looks like and give you a good flavour of what it can do for you. We'll start with Control 6 and the NNT SIEM solution, Log Tracker, just because this is the one that most organisations already have covered, so we may be able to skip over this. What do you use currently for SIEM and logging? If you need to cover this control, or you'd like to look as an alternative to the expensive, hard-to-use options already in place, then I can give you a quick tour. The beauty of Log Tracker is that it is the easiest SIEM tool to use. Everything is ready to go out of the box. So you have dashboards, fully configurable to your taste, of course. The simplicity of the product is extended throughout, and the UI layout matches the log processing journey, which makes it really easy to get results. Starting with the messages screen, this just shows all events that have been forwarded to the Log Tracker system. As part of the package, we give you an agent to install on any system where you need to forward logs from. Any Unix, Linux or firewall will natively use syslog, but Windows doesn't support syslog as standard, so the agent is useful. Immediately you get a flavour of how different Log Tracker is to other SIEM tools. See the top row of options referencing keyword indexes. If you've used things like ArcSight or QRadar in the past, you'll know these products work on the basis of adapters, extensions or plugins. Otherwise you can't use the log data being received. What's cool about Log Tracker is that it performs a full keyword index on all log data it receives, which allows us to search by keywords using logic operators and in turn build our reports and alerts using correlation threads. It's really quick and simple to get results. What Log Tracker does is it uses the keyword index to generate correlation threads. The concept of a thread is that it analyses all the events and makes sense of them for you. The really cool thing is that you also get a bunch of pre-built thread groups that provide the audit trails needed for all the popular GRC standards, so you can give an auditor exactly what they want when they ask for it. As an example, I can click through and show an audit trail of everyone who has accessed the firewall and when, which is exactly what you need logs for. And I can even define alert rules based on certain events or combination of events in a defined time. For example, logons to a system out of hours might be a suspicious event that you want an alert for. The alert includes further processing and formatting of the information that is extracted from the log event. So here, I just extract the username. As another example of the early warning or active detection of cyber attack, I have another demo scenario where I want to protect some confidential data, and here I've set an alarm for anyone accessing the file in case they try and take a copy of the data or just photograph it to evade any DLP. I get a real-time alert and a full audit trail, including who accessed the file. So in summary, Log Tracker really is the simplest to use, easiest to get results from SIEM system that's available. So looking at the first three controls, inventory of assets and software, followed by the need for a vulnerability management program, are three linked controls in that you need to know what you have and what they have running in order to then work out if you have vulnerabilities. The cool thing is that Vulnerability Tracker does all of this automatically as a single scheduled process. The dashboard shows the number of tests that it has available, which is updated by the hour using a live internet feed, essential since new vulnerabilities are always being discovered. You can see the inventory of discovered devices under the Assets tab. You may already run a CMDB in your ITSM, and we would definitely want to explore this with you to see if we can reuse that CMDB information or if we need to make use of the Vulnerability Tracker discovery. The cool thing with Vulnerability Tracker is that it is so highly automated. It really is a point-and-shoot security resource. I can schedule scans or run one on demand. I just dial in the devices or address range to scan and the depth and breadth of testing that I want. For example, I may want just a quick check for any newly introduced tests since my previous scan, but if I have more time, then I'll want to test thoroughly for every single known vulnerability. The report shows the full list of discovered vulnerabilities aligned by host, typically delivered in order of severity, but you can orientate this report by host or any other metric. You can see that each vulnerability has a solution type to determine whether there are patches needed or configuration changes or, in some cases, a workaround. What I want to do now is go to the SecInfo tab. Here I can see all my NVTs or network vulnerability tests. An NVT is just that, are tests crafted to accurately hunt down and identify the presence of a vulnerability. Sometimes a single test will cover multiple vulnerabilities, each identified with a CVE reference. For example, if I do a quick search for WannaCry and show the detail of the vulnerability, you can see here that the solution recommended is to patch. And just as an aside, you can see that this NVT was created on March the 15th, and most of the outbreaks and damage was done by WannaCry at the end of April, early May. So it's encouraging to see we would have saved all of those organisations hit if only they'd been using our technology. But of course, not all vulnerabilities are software-based, and in fact, the more difficult area is in the realm of hardened configuration settings. The other age-old issue with a vulnerability scanning strategy is that you never have any visibility of what's been going on in between scans, which is where Change Tracker comes in. NNT are a certified CIS vendor, which means that NNT deliver guaranteed accurate CIS benchmark assessments of all platforms, applications and devices in line with CIS Control 5. This is the output on Change Tracker for a CIS benchmark audit, giving full secure configuration guidance and detailed remediation advice. But, best of all, Change Tracker addresses the major security blind spot left by all vulnerability scanners, in that it actually reports any changes to your attack surface by tracking changes. Any drift away from secure configuration settings is detected and alerted in real time, and any suspicious behaviour patterns, including breach activity, are placed firmly in the spotlight. The configuration drift can be exposed just by comparing two reports from different times, or by reviewing the individual changes as they are detected in real time, which is what I will use next. So talking about changes and detecting suspicious activity, how does Change Tracker distinguish between required and approved safe changes and suspicious and malicious change? This is exactly what elevates SecureOps above the traditional security solutions which have consistently fallen short of our needs in the past. To demonstrate how effective Change Tracker is in separating planned expected change from unplanned suspicious change, I'm going to run an installer. Installing some software is like most IT business as usual change. It's going to result in a bunch of changes, registry, files, and so on. To maintain security, it is essential to control change. So first, you need to be able to track all changes and see what's going on. This is what SecureOps delivers. It's the integration of operational processes with security level validation for genuine change control that elevates SecureOps above traditionally flawed security strategies. Crucially, SecureOps provides high levels of intelligence and automation to ensure this isn't just adding bureaucracy and change noise. Now that the software has been installed, Change Tracker will be busy detecting those changes associated with the installation. Crucially, because this is SecureOps, the changes will also be analysed and correlated against any planned change manifests for expected and planned change. In order to do this, Change Tracker needs a monitoring policy to define which configuration attributes and settings need to be tracked. Let's take a quick look at a typical policy and in fact the tracking template used for the device used in this demo. You can see we are tracking the file system, the installed software and patches, the registry, and you can see that the scope of monitoring can be taken even further depending on the nature of the endpoint and the required level of depth and detail needed. I'm just using a default template, which is one of several hundred reports and templates pre-packed with Change Tracker at no extra cost. What's really cool is I now have complete visibility of what's going on. Nothing happens within my estate, good or bad, without me having a full audit trail. But even better, all the activity reported has been analysed and matched against the ServiceNow RFC. The changes detected have been automatically compared to the change manifest, and in this case, they all check out, so they're marked as planned and correlated to the RFC. The benefit of this is obvious. I'm not just getting change noise, instead, I'm getting validation and verification that changes have been implemented exactly as intended. But it doesn't end there. I'll now make some other changes. I'll just copy over some system files to this program file location as if I'm deploying more patches. This activity is also detected and also intelligently analysed, But this time, of course, the changes don't match the RFC for installing Notepad++. But Change Tracker is designed to use multiple layers of plan change rule sets, so it will also analyse the events against all the other sources of intelligence it holds for expected regular activity. And something really interesting and powerful happens. In my system, all file changes are analysed using an NNT FastCloud plan change rule set. FastCloud is a massive cloud repository of file reputation data sourced from a range of security researchers, manufacturers, and the global security community. Using FastCloud gives me a safety-first metric which prioritises security above all else. Not whitelisted, assume harmful. Where files have been marked planned and reference my FastCloud plan change rule set, this means that the files are known to have a safe reputation, even though the activity doesn't match any RFC from my ITSM system. These changes will all need review and possibly remediation. But the real high priority events are marked in red, my unplanned changes. These events need to be handled as a priority security incident. They don't match any change manifest, and the file changes don't even have a safe reputation in FastCloud, so they need immediate investigation. In a SecureOps operated IT estate, this allows us to isolate zero-day malware, even if it has been able to evade detection by the signature-based anti-malware defences. In this case, it's just a bespoke application file, developed in-house, so not surprising it isn't in Fast. But you can see how malware would be highlighted clearly, and indeed any other unplanned activity outside of what has been approved and planned. So SecureOps gives us a major breakthrough, because the typical time to detection for any breach is over 160 days on average, long after data has been stolen and systems have been compromised. NNT SecureOps delivers enterprise-class change control, fully automated, fully integrated with your ITSM system, and fully effective at preventing and detecting cyber attacks.
Okay, that concludes the presentation for today. I hope that's been useful, and the key takeaway is that without change control, cybersecurity is always going to be an elusive quantity. The only way that you can achieve change control is by having first and foremost that really forensic detailed change detection that we've shown you in the demo, but more importantly then what you do with those changes, and it's the analysis, the integration with the ITSM system through correlating the RFC, what do we expect to see change with the actual changes observed, and utilising other technological advantages like NNT FastCloud, where even when we get unplanned changes, which is going to happen in a modern enterprise, we still get those analysed and we still get those clarified as safe, not suspicious, not malicious, and thereby promoting the real focus on the things that you need to be so much more wary of, the unplanned change and the unexpected. That integration is really at the heart of SecureOps and this blanket coverage of the CIS controls. So I hope that's been useful. Please come and talk to us further. Plenty of trial software on the website, plenty of things to use, and we'd be pleased to help you with any cybersecurity challenges that you have. Thanks for your time.